Good morning. Man, it feels like I'm on another planet. It's overcast and cold and dark. You know, new year, new me. I've heard that said quite a bit. What does that mean? And how can we apply that to our lives? We'll talk about that in just a second. I don't know about you, but New Year resolutions, we're now into January pretty good. New Year resolutions generally start to fade about right now. People make them New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and then they tend to start fading. They talk about how much weight they're going to lose, or they talk about how much money they're going to save, or they talk about how much better they're going to be, and then they start to fade. Isn't that true for a lot of things? A lot of times we go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, you need to do this, and then we don't do it. Why? It's probably because once we get it out of sight and out of mind, we don't think about it anymore, and we somehow convince ourselves in our head that we can pretend like the bad consequences that might be coming over the hill are not actually coming over the hill. I think we do that with our life too. We're like, I'm alive, and yeah, I know I got to die sometime, but I'm going to pretend like I am not going to die, and I'm just going to live like I'm going to live forever. And we know when we get into the reality of things that that's absurd. We know we're going to pass. We know things are going to happen. We know we've got to do what we got to do. But at the same time, we try to convince ourselves on some unconscious level that we're somehow going to dodge that bullet. Not going to happen. But you know what? Something that we Christians ought to do every single year is we ought to make a few resolutions ourselves. And then we ought to stick to them. Not only for self-improvement and to be a better person, but we should probably talk about, this year I'm going to be kinder. This year I'm going to read my Bible more. This year I'm going to take my prayer life seriously. This year I'm going to try my very best to assemble with other Christians at church as much as I can. Now, I know people miss church for various reasons, and I understand that, but it does say not to forsake the assembly of ourselves together. And there's many ways in which you can do that. Church is one of them. And people say, well, the church is imperfect. And yeah, you're right, because it's got a lot of imperfect people in it. You're one of them if you go there. If you show up, you'll not make it better. You'll just make it worse. But the thing is because you do show up, and all of us together in a church can help make our walk better. And ultimately, it makes us better. Because you see, God saves us, but he continues to work on us. Jesus says, come to me just as you are. But I'm not going to leave you that way. I'm going to help you change. I'm going to help you change for the better. He certainly has me. He certainly has. My attitude is better. I used to have a much harder heart. And years ago, because of some circumstances in my life, and I had to understand what forgiveness meant. And I had to understand how to give forgiveness. And once I did that, my heart softened up, and now I kind of cry at everything. That's the truth. And I'd rather be this way than that way. So when we make these resolutions, whether it's to lose weight or whether it's to save enough to go on a trip or to pay off the house or whatever it might be, we might fail at those. We might not lose weight. We might actually gain it. Or we might have to spend the money on a heater that goes bad in our house that we're going to have to replace. I guess what I'm saying is that sometimes things don't go as planned. But I hope that our Christian resolutions go as planned. I hope you do read your Bible more. I hope you do pray more. I hope you do think about being kinder and more open to what God has for you. I don't want to go to heaven one of these days and God say, welcome to heaven, but man, you missed so much I wanted you to experience. You just didn't see it. You were so distracted and you were so busy with nonsense that you didn't rise up to your potential. And I'm so sorry that didn't happen. It's on you. I made the way, but you failed. You dropped the ball. Now I forgive you and come on into heaven, but you could have had so much more. Could have had such a stronger relationship with me. Your faith could have pushed you forward. You could have even influenced more people. Sometimes I think we get distracted by the unimportant. And so every time when we make a resolution of some kind, it's very easy to fall off the wagon. But I hope that you keep God as a primary focus in your life. And the love of Christ, I hope you share it with everyone. Be kind to each other. Have a good day. See you next time.